A lot of times you can do things with things you're not supposed to be able to do things with because you have to. It's like me welding this with a welder that's too hot, stick welding it. When I should be wire welding it, I don't have a wire welder. And you know, people don't realize that you can do what you have to do if you have to do it. And you know, as a good example of that, in World War II, after the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, we didn't have any airplanes that could fly far enough to retaliate. But we took some B-17s. I wasn't alive back then. And we modified them and we set them up so that we could do a bombing raid, and we got the bombs there and we dropped them on them. Even though there wasn't enough gas in the planes to fly back. Pilots sacrificed their lives. People did things that weren't humanly possible and made it happen. Mike Hall, a lot of y'all know about Mike, he's dead now, but he worked for a snowplow company, and they opened a new factory in Alabama, and they were building snowplows out of metal that wasn't really thick enough to weld. And guys down there said, you know, you can't weld this stuff, it's not thick enough. So they shipped Mike Hall down there, and Mike Hall welded up all our snowplows down there, and when he stayed down there for a few days, when he got through, he caught the quota up. And then boys watched him weld, and their jaws dropped. He said they just couldn't believe it, that he could weld that stuff together. But Mike was that kind of guy. He had the skills that went beyond what you can normally do. There's a lot to be said for that. In today's world, things are changing. People are, for example, building hot rods that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars using, you know, you can come out with a $10,000 welder or whatever. Probably not that much. But I mean, you can come out with some really expensive equipment and do some really pretty stuff. But in the old days, we just used what we had. Sometimes that's all you got. I look pretty bad, but I do the job. I do the wigs. Lift the spot. Oopsie. Sometimes it's a good idea to slam them around and see if they fall apart. Hey. All right, let's take that back there and take it inside there and set it into place and look at it. I'm gonna do my hat. I got one around here somewhere. Oh, the joy. I know this is bad photography. You know, I know that I'm not set up awesome good, but I try to do the best I can. That's what I had to work with here. I appreciate y'all putting up with me. I know it. Y'all could be watching someone fabulous like Musty One or One Lonely Farmer or 63 Impala, Mr. Heavy Chevy. Some of you willing to sacrifice your lives to watch me do stuff I do. It's hard to imagine, but it's cool. I'm gonna use my old big gloves here because I don't want burn myself. Alright, this goes like this. That's the bottom. That's the bottom. The top, I'm gonna go up there. Oh, that ain't right. Yeah, that's right. All right. So, now my thinking was that I was going to run my tin up and down, but if I did, it's going to be slanted crooked. Like the lines of the tin will be running crooked, which is going to look weird. Maybe what I ought to do instead is cut the edges of my tin so that it runs on either side here. Make it so that it runs straight here, and I cut the top and I cut the bottom at an angle and run it downhill. It's going to mean I'm going to have a crooked angle when I get to this. But if I do it right, I can make all the lines match so that when I open and close it, it'll be right. That's going to take a little bit of consideration to figure out. But I think I can do it. Probably the easiest way to do it is to lay these things down flat on that trailer I got, and then start on one end and work my way all the way across. And do it that way. I think that's what I'm going to need to do. Alright, so that's a big deal though. I mean, just getting that part done. So, I hadn't even had breakfast yet. I think it's probably 12, 1, 2 o'clock maybe. I still ain't had breakfast, so maybe I ought to go in and eat me an egg sandwich and consider life and all, and think about what to do now, and all like that. Well, maybe that's what I need to do. Oh, what a pretty car somebody left in the driveway here. Look at there, Rusty. I done made your mine's pretty biased. It looks all scarred up and dirty, and I done made a mess out of things. Dang, I say. Dang again.